but that's alright.
Oh my god!
Yo guys, what is up? Moxsy here in a Borderlands 3 video, and today we're talking about one of the craziest interactions that we've ever seen on Amara, which will allow you to hit for 1 billion damage with just a few pieces of gear and your skill tree. Now, this interaction is absolutely insane and is probably the closest we've come to hitting damage cap with Amara with the least amount of gear possible. Anyone can do this. It is insane, and all the memes about like Amara being able to murder things without anything. Well, today is the day that is coming true. This is absolutely crazy. Now, this interaction was reported to me by one of my Twitch chat viewers. It's Nice, who told me that this was working for like over an hour yesterday. He was like, "You gotta check this out. You gotta look at it." I was like, "There's no way that works. There's no way that works," and it works. So shout out to Nice. And this interaction has everything to do with Amara's Augment Revelation. Amara's action skill now creates a Nova when it damages nearby enemies, or when it damages enemies, dealing damage to all nearby enemies. Nova damage 3081, action skill damage minus 15%. Now, I have never equipped this augment on any of my builds. I've never used it. It says that it does crap for damage, and that is the main reason why. Now, I have been playtesting, and the gameplay that you're going to be seeing is a mix of me showcasing this and also me doing the testing of, I took all of the skill points out. I wanted to see what it did. I took all of the gear off, and I found out what is causing this interaction, but I couldn't explain to you the math behind it. Now, this is absolutely nothing to do with Groundbreaker. Groundbreaker is disabled. Nothing to do with Groundbreaker. This is everything to do with, one, the 390 anoint, which will give that Nova from our augment 300 damage. Now, when I spec'd just to Revelation and just to Ties That Bind, I couldn't one-shot things. I would hit for about 1 million, but I couldn't one-shot things. The skill point after testing this for hours that makes this work, and I couldn't tell you why, I couldn't tell you the damage why, but it's Laid Bare. I know Laid Bare is a damage increase, but when you have Laid Bare, you have Ties That Bind, and you have Revelation, with one other thing that I'll tell about in a second, you can hit for 600 mil, 200 mil, over 1 billion damage. Now, you're going to be hitting for so many millions of damage that you want to have Remnant, because Remnant is uncapped overkill, and the fact that Remnant is uncapped overkill, meaning that it'll very consistently get to over 1 billion damage. You're going to be hitting consistently for over damage cap, which is crazy because we're literally using no gear. Now, when the gear that I am wearing is a Spiritual Driver and an Elemental Projector Victory Rush. The reason I'm doing this is not for, it doesn't scale off your movement speed. It has nothing to do with anything. I'm just primed to proc Elemental Projector. Elemental Projector is going to give me an elemental damage boost by the element that I am affected by. So I'm going to be equipping, for example, if I'm using fire on my action skill. That way I can dot myself. That way I'm going to give myself 103% increase with that element. Now, the 390 seems to be double dipping. So we already knew that 390 is going to, if you have two enemies that are full health, is going to increase the damage that is done through Ties That Bind by 300%. Now, what I'm guessing is happening is that we're getting that 300% done to the nearby enemy. The Nova's going to hit for 300% harder, and through Ties That Bind, that is going to then proc a Remnant Orb, which is going to one-shot basically enemy in the game. Now, how it goes from doing about 1 million, because if you phase grasp an enemy that's alone with this setup, if they're alone and they have no one near them, and it's just the phase grasp on them, the Revelation will hit for about 1 to 4 million. How, when you do it through Ties That Bind and you have two enemies near each other, that it'll consistently hit for over 250 million. I couldn't tell you. I genuinely don't know. But it's insane. It is absolutely crazy. Just real quick. And once again, has nothing to do with Groundbreaker. So 168 million damage there. Let me do it again. Nova's 172 million damage. This is an Amara build that you can do damage cap with white weapon and green shielded gear. It is absolutely crazy. If you are wondering about the skill tree that I'm using is the pretty much exact same from the Groundbreaker Amara, which I've now dubbed Earthbreaker Amara, Gamebreaker Amara, because that's wild. And I just moved 1 point from Find Your Center over to Mindfulness. If you haven't seen that melee build, definitely check it out, and you can switch to Revelation because we're using a 390 face puncher in that build to do the same thing but with even more damage. But this is just absolutely crazy. As you can see, the Nova in the middle did 4 million, and then the Novas, or the hit on the outside, did 175 million. And I think this is also really in part to Ties That Bind scaling, which is ×7. So we're going to be getting the ×7 damage through Ties That Bind, and then we're also getting 390 on that. And if I had to take a guess, that is how I would guess that this is working. It's the Ties That Bind action skill scaling along with the Nova getting 390 to just delete things. Now, you don't need shield ASCs. It doesn't look like it's getting ASCs. I've been keeping them on, but I just wanted to show you guys that it's a fire number not popping up. It's not a fire and a radiation number, or like a fire and cryo number. And this works. This'll one-shot anything in the game. I mean, we're hitting 181 million. Like, nothing's surviving that. You know what I mean? Absolutely crazy. And damage cap. So what you're seeing is we're hitting that one thing for 181 million, and then that's causing a crap ton of overkill. That overkill, the reason why that scale is so crazy is because it's from Remnant. Remnant is going to scale from your splash damage. That is why we're spec'd into Arms Deal. That is why I'm using splash damage on my Spiritual Driver and area effect damage on my Victory Rush. And it also counts as action skill damage, so it's going to be getting that ×7 Remnant proc. So think about it this way. We're going to be getting that ×7 damage multiplier on 181 million reapplied again with unlimited overkill, and it's going to take all of our splash damage into account. This is easily over 1 billion damage on pretty much every single time you phase grasp, which is insane. Guys, I hope you learned something new from this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace! That didn't just do 1 billion damage, did it? Alright, let's see if we can just grasp. Just grasp. Oh no. That was a bill. Few 600 mils. Few 600 mils.